Good morning, and sorry for the delay. I had a bee flying in my office, and rather than run away screaming from the camera, I figured I'd take care of that before I came on the video. We did not want a part two of Mike Pence, so that is taken care of. And this morning we're talking about strength and weakness. Now that sounds kind of an odd title, but oftentimes in the Bible, people exhibit a weakness that God leverages into his strength. And this is nowhere else truer of Paul the Apostle. Paul the Apostle had many, many weaknesses, and yet God uses him in a phenomenal way to accomplish his will and to accomplish many things that were beyond Paul's ability. And a great passage that deals with this interesting combination is in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and chapter 12. 2 Corinthians 11 is one of my favorite passages in the scriptures because Paul lists off the many things that a minister or apostle of God is going to face in their ministry by listing off just some of the things that he went through. And he talks about being stoned and left for dead. He talks about starving. He talks about being basically naked in the desert. He talks about a variety of different things. And I mean, really, a lot of Christians today could really take note in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 because honestly, we are sissies in comparison to Paul and all the things that he went through and how easily beset by the slightest inconvenience we are in comparison to Paul. I'm actually thinking about doing a sermon on this, so this 5-minute video may turn into a 30 to 35-minute sermon soon. So keep your eyes out for this. But I do love 2 Corinthians 11. It does talk about, again, the strength, the resilience of Paul. And then right on the tail end of it, in 2 Corinthians 12, you have Paul talking about a weakness that he has. And this weakness is actually given to him by God to prevent him from developing sort of an ego complex based upon a vision that he was given, a very fantastic vision that he was given. So, let's start in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 1. I want you to keep in mind that Paul is addressing those who had infiltrated Corinth and were leading them astray. And so, people were making accusations about ministers of the Lord. People were making accusations about him personally, and thereby calling into question the power of the gospel. And so, Paul is responding to that, those sorts of accusations, and trying to correct those. So there's a little bit of sarcasm laced in here. There's a little bit of kind of strongness in the words that he uses. But 2 Corinthians 12, verse 1 says, "Boasting is necessary, though it is not profitable. But I will go on to visions and revelations of the Lord. I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago, whether in the body I do not know, or out of the body I do not know, God knows, such a man was caught up in the third heaven. And I know how such a man, whether in the body or apart from the body, I do not know, God knows, was caught up into paradise and heard inexpressible words, which a man is not permitted to speak. On behalf of such a man I will boast, but on my own behalf I will not boast, except in regard to my weaknesses. For if I do wish to boast, I will not be foolish, for I will be speaking the truth. But I refrain from this, so that no one will credit me with more than he sees in me or hears from me." Now, he sort of uses the third person here, and it begs the question, is he talking about himself or is he talking about somebody else? But notice what happened. Notice what happens as he continues to explain things. Verse 7 of 2 Corinthians 12, "Because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, for this reason, to keep me from exalting myself, there was given me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. Concerning this I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. And he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore I am well content with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong." So strength and weakness right there in that passage. The first part of the passage seems to indicate that he's talking about somebody else's vision. The middle part of the passage makes clear that he's talking about himself. He did so in talking about the third person because of the people that he was responding to. But he is talking about himself. He's given a limitation on himself, this thorn in the flesh, which is going to teach him about true strength. True strength is found in the power of Christ, not in one's own power. So even if Paul had survived all the things that he survived in 2 Corinthians 11, it would not profit him at all if he thought that it was by his own strength. It only profited him insofar as he viewed and highly esteemed the power of Christ. That was his enabling power. So in whatever weakness he had, God's power was magnified. And God's grace was magnified. So we want to encourage you today. Contemplate strength and weakness. It's easy to rely on and rest on our own laurels. It's easy to think about our strength as opposed to God's strength. But in all that happens to us, in everything that happens to us, we need to fix our eyes on true power. Because any strength that we have is only that which is gifted to us by God. Any enabling power that we have is because of God's provision for us. God's power is perfected in strength. When you are weak, you are strong. A great reversal, a great sort of oxymoron of Christianity. When you are weak, you are strong. So keep that in mind and give God all the glory and all the honor for anything and everything that you face and that you are a victor over. God bless you to that end. And if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have any prayer requests, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. God bless you. God bless your family. And God bless you as you pursue His will and seek after sound knowledge.